Hey guys, this is Hax1Nunky here today, and today we're going to be doing M16 Disassembly. This is going to be an AEG, and keep in mind that this is not a gearbox disassembly. We're just disassembling down to the gearbox. Now you're going to need multiple tools, possibly a flathead screwdriver or a Phillips screwdriver. You're probably going to want some hex screws and a hammer. Might want a little better tools than I have. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is to remove any BBs and a magazine and the battery. After that, you're going to want to take some sort of punch or hex screw and punch out the two receiver pins on either side of the gun. If you are going to use hex screws, you might want to make sure they're an old pair, not a nice brand new pair. Now you have both receiver pins out. And you can just slide the two receivers apart. Make sure not to get your charging handle caught like I did. Now after you do that, you have the upper receiver, flip it over, and you should be able to take out your barrel and your hop-up unit. Again, don't get it caught on your charging handle like I did. There's a small spring up on the hop-up. I just put a dab of glue on it so I wouldn't lose it. I'd suggest doing the same. Then take out your lower receiver and take off the bolt catch, which I'll do in a second. Also find the screw that holds your stock in place and whatever kind of tool you'll need to take that out. Then you're going to have to unscrew that. Your screw might also be internal to the stock, mine is external. When taking the stock off, please be careful to not get your wires jammed. If they do get jammed, don't pull on them. Find out what they're jammed on and then carefully remove it, so you don't fray any wires or break them. Okay, then take off the bolt catch. You don't want to lose that. Little stock piece I forgot to take off. Now on the other side, you're going to have your magazine release. Now on the magazine release button, there should be a small screw right in the center. And use whatever tool you need to take that screw off. It might be a hex screw, it might be a Phillips like mine was. Make sure not to strip that because it's a very vital part of the gun. You might want to be able to take your magazine, put it in and out of your gun without having to use duct tape. After you get that off, you should have the screw and the button, a spring, and the reverse latch on the other side of the gun. You don't want to lose any of those parts. Now you need to remove the grip. On the bottom of the grip, there might be 3 screws. However, the only 2 you're going to remove are the ones on the very front and the very back of the grip, not the middle one. The middle one is just a motor adjustment screw. So take the front one off. And the back, giving me a little trouble. Now the bottom of my grip gets stuck a little bit, so I had to wedge it off. Now some may have a small silver cap like mine did right there, and some may not. Just keep in mind if it does, don't lose it. Now you're going to remove the 2 wires on the grip or on the motor. Some may take a little bit more disassembly time than mine did. but most should just be able to pull off. Now keep in mind the red wire goes on a small red button on the grip, and the black one goes to the other connector. Now there are two small screws on the inside of the grip that you have to remove next. Make sure not to drop them in the gearbox hole, that could be very bad. Remove both those screws and it should be able to diagonally slip off. Again, keep in mind not to get those wires caught. If it tugs at all, be very, very careful at removing them. There's your grip. Now the last thing you want to, or the last removable part, is going to be a small pin on the receiver. I don't know why I zoomed in so far. I didn't know how well you guys could see it on my camera. Small pin right above the trigger, and you're going to want to very carefully tap that out. Now keep in mind, if you're tapping and it's not coming out at all, it's possible that your whatever kind of tap you're using may have gotten inside the gearbox. There's a small, it actually goes through the gearbox, so be very careful. I'd recommend just pulling it out with the pliers so you don't risk denting your gearbox or anything. So just grab it with the pliers and pull it out. Mine is kind of tough. Then after that, all you have to do is turn your gun to semi and wiggle your gearbox out. This may be a little tricky the first time. Make sure none of the wires get caught. There's your blank lower receiver, and there's your gearbox. Thanks for watching, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and remember, please no negative comments. If I did something wrong, just tell me in a comment.